I'm always looking for ways to help the people who contact me. One of the ways I can help is to see to it that they get excellent legal representation when their circumstances warrant it. In order to do that, I often recommend people to a good trial lawyer. Stephen and I had the chance to sit down with one of the best trial lawyers I know, Jeffrey Popp. Jeff, tell me how you became involved with Kate's journey.
Well, I knew Kate and Stephen before the journey began, and after you became sick and made a remarkable and miraculous recovery, as a trial lawyer, it was very easy for me to know what could be done for catastrophically injured people. That's what I've been doing for almost 40 years now.
Jeff, just in the last year, we've worked on a couple of cases that had some really tremendous results. Could you tell us a little about those cases?
I'll be happy to. One of the cases that comes to mind is when you called me and you had a client, a patient, that was in dire straits, who had a serious stroke, was in the hospital and in a recovery setting where she wasn't doing very well. And the issue became, why did she have the stroke? It wasn't quite obvious. And we investigated the situation to determine that, in fact, there was a reason she had a stroke, and it wasn't just Mother Nature. It had to do with a certain drug that she was taking, and this, in fact, caused her stroke. But her stroke and the outcome was a lot worse than it should have been, because she had signs of the stroke and got to the hospital before she had respiratory arrest. We found that the hospital delayed her treatment, so it made the outcome of the stroke even worse than it would have been. By having those two defendants, we ended up bringing a lawsuit. It took a number of years at no cost to the family. The outcome is that she has monthly payments. She's independent today, even though her recovery has been what I would call miraculous to a point. She has severe handicap, but yet she's independent financially. She has the aids that are necessary for her to get along with her life, to see her kids, and to be a mom.
Jeff, when you say financially independent, what does that mean?
Well, in this case, it means a lump sum settlement plus monthly payments. The monthly payments are substantial enough that pays for her care on an attendant care basis, where her family does not have to do it all the time. It pays for a van for her. It pays for rebuilding her house so she can be mobile. It pays for a particular type of wheelchair that she can use. Those are the types of things. And that's not different than almost any case I do with catastrophically injured people. This just happened to be one where it wasn't very obvious how she was injured and whether there was somebody else responsible other than Mother Nature.
I think that's super, because she's able to lead, even though she's still disabled, but a much better quality of life because of what you've done for her.
Well, thank you. And that's true, and that's why I do what I do. Many of my cases that I have, the people do not ever suspect that there's anybody responsible, or that the person responsible is the obvious person, but somebody that has no means whatsoever to contribute to any type of monetary reward to help compensate the person that's the victim.
Jeff, you and I have worked together. I don't want to talk about how old we are, but let's just say when we started working together, disco was popular. And one of the things that attracted me to you was the passion you had. And you still have that passion all these years later. How do you stay so passionate?
Helping people and doing the impossible case, doing the case where other people don't see that there's a possibility of recovery, where they pass up the case, or where individuals don't even think they possibly have an outcome, a recovery, or compensation, and it can make a difference in a person's life.
Stephen, we get a tremendous amount of emails from people finding themselves in a similar situation. How do you decide when to bring Jeff in?
Well, first of all, I'm looking at what we can do for the person, for their whole problem. And sometimes all we can do is offer encouragement. So we almost always try to set up a phone call with the family. And we'll actually, you and I will take the time to talk to them. And then we'll take a look at the kinds of problems they have. Sometimes it will be very heartrending things like life and death decisions. Sometimes it'll be clear that they need financial assistance and they don't know how to get it. And then, being a lawyer, I'm looking to see if there's any kind of legal issues that might help them. And when a legal issue comes up that's going to require the possibility of a trial lawyer, we have some people we turn to. And my first choice is Jeff, because after, you know, my years of experience with him, I know he can do some very amazing things. So it'll depend on the problem, and we want to see every person individually as a family, as a person, and see what we can do. And as you know, we do a lot more than just the legal stuff. We go everywhere from holding hands to talking to insurance companies to setting up treatment plans with the family. And I have, as part of our arsenal of tools that we use, Jeff's one of them.